For the headlights, I think all we need is a couple of cylinders here. We can see them here. If we tab into edit mode for the hood and select this face here, we can move that cursor to it with Shift S2. And then let's go ahead and just create a cylinder right here. We'll take it down to, let's take it down to 24 vertices, and I'll go ahead and type in 0.1 and 0.2 here, just to shrink it down a bit. Now I could leave it here as an n-gon just while we're doing the modeling. So if I pull this out a bit, and let's hit RX90 to turn it, I can get rid of this one face back here, this n-gon right there. Delete faces. And I could scale this in the Y, S and Y, bring that in like this. Then what let's do is go ahead and begin extruding in. So I'll select that one face, and I'll hit I and inset in just a bit like this. Then E and pull out. And then I and push in. E and push in like that, and I'm just getting that rim around the headlight there. And then if we press E and pull out, I'll go ahead and scale in quite a bit. Then E and pull out just a little bit and scale in. And then I'll go ahead and press E and enter and then merge all those points together with Alt M and choose at center. There we go. So that brings all those points together there. And maybe I could move that out just a little bit like that. So that's generally the shape we want. Let's go ahead and smooth it. Shade smooth. We'll turn on auto smooth over here. Yeah, that's doing pretty well. Okay. I might also want to put an edge on the back here. Let me do that. I'll alt click that edge and then hit E, and then I'll hit S and scale in. And then I think I want to just grab this edge and press Control B and just bevel that in just a bit. Although it doesn't look like the scale has been applied. Let's go back to object mode and apply the scale with Control A. And then let's bevel that. There we go. That looks a little bit better. I just wanted, there just appears to be a curve there at the back, and I just wanted to be able to get that. Yeah, something like that. In addition, we could maybe put a curve right here as well while we're at it. Let's try that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take it back and try and fit it in there, put it into place. I'll scale it down and maybe something like this. I think we'll have to angle it a bit, because if we bring it back like this, it's going to intersect there at the top before anything else and over here on the side. So let's press RZ and turn it a bit like this. And then maybe we could also turn it in the X as well. Let's just hit RX and tilt it just a little bit like that. Let's see how that works. And let's bring it in. Yeah, let me turn it in the X a little bit more. There we go, something like that. All right, so with that there, let's go ahead and move the cursor to the center of the grid with Shift S1. And let's move that origin to the 3D cursor, and let's give it a mirror modifier. Here we go, and we're not getting it mirrored over, which means what? Probably need to apply the rotation, right? So let's press Control A and rotation, and sure enough, there it is. Okay, so we have our headlights in. Let's try and work on these things here. Let's begin again with a cylinder, Shift A, mesh cylinder, and we should have everything pretty much in line over here in the settings. Let's press RX90 and spin it, and then let's bring it out here. I'll get rid of that back face here. And then let's go ahead and hit S and Y and scale that in a bit. Now, this has got a little bit more of a elongated shape here. So let's see if we can work on that. I think what let's do is maybe go into wireframe first and tab into edit mode. And let's just border select these points at the bottom. And let's use our proportional editing tool, that O key. Let's turn on the proportional editing tool with O right up here. And then I'm just going to move down in the Z, so GZ, and we can see the area of influence here. So let's kind of move it down to here, and then maybe scrolling in a bit or scrolling out, we can get just kind of an elongated shape there like that. I'll turn off the proportional editing tool with the O key again, and I'll bring those 2 points down just a little bit further. Something like that. Let's see how that works. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and select this face here, and I'm going to press Control A and apply the scale because I want to inset this. I want to hit the I key and inset about like this. And then what I want to do is flatten up these edges here. So maybe this one, and I'll press Control click, and that'll extend that selection on. So there we go, something like that. Now let's flatten these with S and Z, and I'll just flatten them like that, and then bring them up here like this. So maybe something like this. Let's try this right about here, and then S and X to scale out just a little bit. And there we go. So now we've got that basic outline that we can then take this now and extrude it in, hit E and push in. And then I'll begin doing the little yellow part there. So let's hit I and kind of scale in a bit, or inset in and maybe pull out just a bit like that. Maybe we don't need it that big. Something like that, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and put this in place now. Let's just hit G and move it over here. And scale it down until it's about the right shape or size. Maybe something like this. Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller. Let's try that. Yeah. There we go. Now we're going to have to bring it all the way in. So let's take it into here. Get that period key to zoom in. And let's see how much we're going to have to spin this. There, it's just intersecting with it there. So let's hit RZ and spin this around like this. Okay, and then the X-axis as well. RX, and maybe tilt it just a bit like that. And let's see how it's going to intersect there. Not too bad. Let me just tilt it a bit like this. Let's see how that works. All right, so we've got those two in place. Once again, I'll move that origin to the 3D cursor, and let's add a mirror modifier to it. Or I could just add it to this object here. Why don't I do that? I'll shift-click this headlight and then press Control-J, and that'll pop that over to the other side there. All right, so we've got our headlights. I'm thinking that I'd like to maybe work a little bit on the hood again. Now that we've got these in, it's drawing more attention for me to the fact that the housing for the headlights isn't curved like that. We've got these sharp edges on the corners, and here they're more curved. And I feel like I'd like to work on that just a bit. And if I work on that just a bit, I feel like I've got to work on some of these edges up here on the hood. We're now getting to the point where I think that's reasonable to go ahead and add that. So let's see how it works. First of all, I'll select the hood and tab into edit mode. And if we go to edge mode, let's select this edge right here and Alt Shift click this edge right there. And then let's press Control B and just pull out just a little bit. And I've got 4 segments in here. Maybe let's take it down to 3. And let's see how that looks. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. I feel like we might be able to actually remove an edge right here. Let's just try this and see. Dissolve edges. And that helps clean that up just a little bit. In addition, we could come up here and select this edge right here. And we could try and bevel this edge. Let's give this a try. Control B. And I'll pull out right here. There we go. Yeah, I think those help. And lastly, let's take a look at the inside of this headlight housing. So let's go here, 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 and select this edge here. And then let's press Control B and pull these out as well, kind of like this. And then maybe we ought to go ahead and add another edge in there like that. So yeah, those housings are a little bit more rounded there. And now that I've done that, I'm looking at these grills here, and those are pretty much the same kind of thing. So let's go ahead and grab those. So now we're to the point, as I mentioned a long time ago, we're kind of beginning to see the whole thing and realize what it needs in terms of extra details. And so I think these little extra details could help kind of attract the eye and really add to overall detail. So let's grab these now. And you see how these are kind of curved along the grill here? Let's try this. Control B, and let's pull these out like this. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Yeah, I think that helps. I think those just overall help sell that there's, detail there. I think that could work. All right, well, before we do any more around here on the side or anything, in the next video, let's go ahead and work on the back of the vehicle, try and do a similar thing, kind of fill in back here, see what we need, and then we'll take a look, see where we are, and from there we may move up and work on the machine gun up on top. So we're getting close. We'll keep at it.